to Saxthorpe Farms, and we are up at the store, just having a browse through the sales, and there is a Richard Weston silage trailer. So, Pete, we are going to get some silage trailers. I think I might have spotted this in the last video and mentioned it, but we're actually going to buy it this time. I never bother with number plates on trailers or equipment. We're getting a hitch on the back in case we need to move multiples around the map, but 10 grand, so half price for another trailer is a pretty useful idea, particularly as we have quite a lot of stuff to sell later in this video. So having 3 big trailers is going to be very useful because some of that is the maize silage. I think we end up going through quite a few months in this video. So yeah, I think I mentioned in the last video about picking up some plows, and that is what we're going to do. We're going to get 2, I think, of the eco mats. Kind of pondered the Cavernland, but it's 2.5 meter. We don't have the horsepower for anything bigger than the Cavernland Eco Mat. So 3.5 meters. The 7 series should run these just fine. There are a whole bunch of plowing contracts, which means we can basically earn back the money that these cost. So 50 odd grand spent. We should be able to earn this back from the contracts that we've got. I'm going to get another weight to put on the front of the 7230. So we'll get another one of the safety weights. It's nice to actually use some different weights compared. I pretty much always use the base game weights, or with Deutz, I really like the weight that comes in the Sintrack. So I always think it looks really good on the front of the Deutz tractor. But yeah, not going to show you all the plowing contracts because I did a lot of it with course plate, but it was a good way to earn some cash. And then we are also going to be buying our first extra field today, making use of one of the farmers we have a 25% discount with. So it seems kind of crazy not to make use of that huge discount, so we will be doing that, and that will then reset it. But there is an interesting thing with the discount you accumulate as you do contracts for people, which I'll talk about when we get to it. There wasn't a video on Saturday. There may not have been a video on Sunday. It depends when this video finishes rendering. It's kind of mid-morning on Sunday at the moment. So there you can see all the contracts I'm going to take. Yeah, it's kind of mid-morning on Sunday at the moment. The teenager is on holiday with the in-laws. Again, that kid is constantly on holiday at the moment. Don't blame her. She's just finished, you know, A-levels and stuff, which were all pretty stressful. Mrs. D has had to pop round to one of her relatives, so I'm home alone, so trying to get a video out. I think I've mentioned so 17 grand for the first contract. The price for straw is good. Prices for lots of things are good. Straw is good, oats are good, so we're going to get the straw sold. The maize silage is also good. So we could really do with a third bigger tractor, because we are going to be hooking the bale trailer up to the AgroStar. It'll be fine. Yeah, so I think I've mentioned life's really stressful at the moment. Not stuff that I can particularly talk about, but it's meant that I haven't always felt like doing videos. It's why the streaming thing, I think I have mentioned this, why the streaming thing didn't work out particularly over the holiday. There's some stressful things going on. Yeah, so things might be a little bit patchy in the near term as I get organised and get some stuff sorted in the real world. It will go away soon, hopefully. So first load of straw, 11.5 grand, nearly 12 grand actually with the environmental bonus. That's pretty nice. We have basically one more full trailer full in the shed. This was from our one field of oats that we got, so it's a nice little earner there. Yeah. So yeah, videos are going to be a bit random over the next probably week. There are a few that I don't think I did last week. I'm really not sure. So between the stuff that I'm not going to mention, and please don't message me asking, I'm not going to tell you. Getting back to work and having a couple of pretty stressful days at work. Kind of the end of last week was a bit of a mess. I don't know, normally over the weekend I don't record that much, but had the opportunity, so trying to squeeze a video in. At the very least, it means there'll be a video for Monday, hopefully, if I get this commentary finished. We will see. So, another, what are we up to? 18 grand, so 30 grand for the straw, which is pretty nice. There's a little bit of fermented silage. I'm going to speed this fermenter up, I think. So it was set up for fermenting CCM. You know, it's been a month nearly, and I think in a month we fermented about 60,000 litres, which is not massive. So I think I'm going to speed that up, because probably in the real world, a silo like that, if it was full, would probably ferment in a month or two. So gonna make some tweaks on that. Just setting up a bit of an Autodrive course up at the bale sell point up at the animal dealer. Hadn't been up here before because we don't have animals, but it had the best price for maize silage. So eventually we will be getting animals. There is a cow farm on here. There is a pretty big cow farm, and this is on the map, so eventually we will get to be doing animals. But at the moment it's quite nice not to have animals. You know, there were once I got these plowing contracts out of the way, I could just skip time to, you know, when things happened, like best prices for stuff, and yeah, it was quite cool. It is very strange not having animals on a save, and I will be tempted throughout until we get to that point, but I really want to focus on the arable on here. And I think probably in the next video we might be getting back into spring and field work on our fields. So trying to think what I did towards the end of this video. I don't remember. So some things that I'm pondering on here is I think we might need a second seeder. Or I don't particularly want to sell the seeder that we've got, because it's our seeder and our planter, and it's a direct drill. But I am thinking that we need more than 6 meters of seeding and planting capability with the size of the fields on here. So it's either sell it, buy a bigger planter and seeder, so probably 12 meters, something like that, or we buy another one and we do like we've done with the plows and we double up. So I think we've just finished another one, so another 18 grand there. So I think by the time I did the last contract, the plows had paid for themselves, which is pretty nice. So we just, I think this is running on Autodrive. No, I took over. I did want to test the Autodrive route, but I think I ended up driving it myself. The 2.7 series are on the last contract. It's, you know, a good 2+ hour job. I did let it run on course plate. So basically it was stuff that I could have running whilst being not very switched on with anything, to be honest. Yeah, so I think that's the maize silage that we had sold. The oats are now at a really good price, so on to those. The little AgroStar is working pretty darn hard. So I'm going to set up Autodrive to do this. So I have said in the past that I generally don't enjoy it when people do videos that are entirely Autodrive and course play. I do the odd one, you know, I'll do the odd silage one and that kind of thing. And there's a lot in this, but I'm not showing much of it. And it was really that I wanted to test. I'm still using my Autodrive network. I know Autodrive guy has one, and at some point I'll add it in. But I'm finding it kind of fun setting my own up and relearning some of the mistakes that I make. And yeah, so I'm still using my own, and so it's kind of nice to just test it out, play with it a bit, enjoy using Autodrive in more than how I would normally use it, which is just to do carting jobs on the field, you know, so like combine unloading, silage unloading, that kind of thing. That's pretty much all that I would normally use Autodrive for. Until recently anyway, I've been experimenting a bit more with it. I would love to get the massive field. I think even with the discount, it's something like 1.2 million. I think without discount, it's 1.4 million. So, but the harvests on that are going to be mental. So I did a harvesting contract on there. Even the excess we got was pretty mental. So yeah, I think it would be a. Well, I think it's maybe one we'll save a slightly later game when we've got more bigger kit. There was, annoyingly, it cropped up in the sales, but I needed to focus the money on land. A Deutz 9000 appeared in the sales at half price, but it was still going to cost me like 150 grand. And I just couldn't justify it at this point. It would have been so nice to have, you know, that kind of, really, that's the end game in the Deutz line of tractors. And it's a really nice bit of kit. So we will be getting one on here. But I wonder if, you know, we've got two tractors that are in the 230, 250 horsepower range. I think just going to 300 is not a big enough step. Just 300 horsepower. Sounds silly saying that. So I think probably when we look for a big tractor, it is going to be going for something like the quad track. I did have a few other suggestions. Someone suggested the Xerion. But did kind of use the Xerion on Greenlands. Obviously, I love my 2 tracks, so there's an option there. We have got one on Green Valley, but with life, we're finding it really hard to actually find time to play on Green Valley. So normally we would play that on a Friday. Normally, on a Friday, I finish work at lunchtime. Lately, I have been finishing work on a Friday much later in the day and much more tired. So that's kind of wiped out that slot. And I think Kartek's back in the office a lot more than he used to be when we started doing this. And so it's kind of hard to find that neutral time. And I have a lot of respect for people that regularly find the time to play and record multiplayer content. I find it really difficult. Partly with the way that I like to make my content, but yeah, I just find it really hard to have that consistent slot. I'm even finding it really hard in the last week or so to consistently get my arse out to train, which, yeah, energy levels are really low. Food's been better lately. Food's been better, kind of forced by the fact that my skin is starting to fall off because I have some minor food allergies, and when I eat the wrong food, my skin falls off. But when I get stressed, I eat the wrong food. So, you know, it's a wonderful balance in life. Yeah. Just going through selling all of the oats. I didn't really make note of what we started at. I think we were going to make about 80 grand from selling the oats, which again is pretty nice. Some of that was from our field. I think some of that was excess from contracts. But it's going to put us in a really nice position. And we then still have the maize silage to sell that's in the clamp and in the fermenting silo. So the fermenting silo is going to be a while. I am going to speed it up, but it's probably still going to be spring before it's all fermented now. So I'm not going to make it ridiculous. And I did ask in the last video about, just realised I've not taken my meds for today. Oh, we'll do that afterwards. I did ask in the last video about releasing some sort of update to that mod, and I think I'm probably going to do it as a pack, so there'll probably be separate fermenters for different crops. So I think I'll leave the CCM one. Obviously there'll probably be a maize silage one, a grass silage one, and a whole crop one. It kind of makes sense to me. I don't think I might do one then that's a combined brewer's grain beet pulp, maybe. I feel like brewer's grain actually probably maybe you would ferment in a silo. Beet pulp to me feels like you'd do it in a clamp because it sounds like something that wouldn't flow out of a silo. But maybe beet pulp's quite dry. I don't know. You know? So I've taken over driving this bit. I think I end up showing the sales for December, but that includes some silage, the oats, and the straw. So it's a bit of a random number. it's not as useful a number as I think I'm showing. So my original plan, I think, was to keep an eye on the total changing, but again, I didn't really do a very good job of that. So anyway, plowing contracts are done. Another 28 grand going into the bank, and we are actually we've just finished plowing field 23 as a contract, and we're going to buy field 23. We've got a 25% discount on it, which takes it down to 570 grand. It's got 100% yield from the soil, and it's not too far from our farm. I did talk about trying to keep things linked up, but you know, I think that's quite nice. And the other thing is, so I don't know if I show it or not, so I had a maximum 25% discount. I'd done another, that last contract would have actually put me at 30% if I had allowed it. But when I used the 25% up, it still had 5% there. So it's carrying over the excess, which is quite cool. It means that I'm still earning credibility with the farmer for helping him out. And I'm not getting really big, silly discounts on the field. So, yeah. We need to load up the maize silage. I think the price peaks for maize silage in January. There is a good price. We need to do a little bridging loan to be able to buy the belts, but I am not bucket loading this silage. There's a lot. I think it's like 400,000 litres, so it'd be like 200 bucket loads of silage. Ain't doing that. Nope. So, and what I end up managing to do is doing a little temporary Autodrive route, so that we've got 3 decent tractors now, 2.5, and well, we've got 3 tractors with 3 appropriately sized trailers, so I can have all 3 running because we have 400,000+ litres of silage to sell. So that just kind of speeds up the process a little if I can get Autodrive helping, and I do manage to get it sort of working so that Autodrive can drive under the conveyor belt and fill, which was quite cool. The snow caused some issues because I don't know actually whether there's something that whether Giants will pick up. So this addition to Cartec's Beat Bunker Pack is with Giants, so I don't think it's in testing yet, but it's been submitted to Giants. One thing that I did notice is snow can fall inside the bunker, which did cause some issues with the belts trying to pick up snow. So I don't know whether it should have the indoor area set to cover, and it's realistic, I guess, that snow falls inside the clamp, but from a gameplay mechanic perspective, it's a bit of a faff. So whether it should have an indoor area set so that snow doesn't fall inside the bunker. I don't know how it works with other ones. I've not looked, and I don't remember how it worked with like Giants ones as to whether they have snow that falls inside them or not. But something for you to ponder, Cartec. And I haven't mentioned this to you because I forgot until I was recording the commentary. So yeah. Let's grab some tractors and some trailers. I've been trying to be a bit more organised with putting stuff away. So you'll see we have a trailer shed now. And it's varied actually. I've been storing the tractors sometimes in here. Obviously, our 2 main tractors were in the other shed. But this is quite a nice equipment shed. I think I might move the combines in here as well. But we'll see. You've got so much shed space, and it's quite nice to have the room in here to bring the trailers in and park them, and then just kind of pull out like that and not have to worry about crashing into stuff. Yeah, I'm going to say thank you to patrons and the YouTube channel members at this point. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. What reminded me of that was I'm playing on Bally Spring for the patrons Let's Play, and everything is ever so snug. Everything is ever so snug on there. Yeah. It's quite nice having a nice big open yard, and Glenarvan is somewhere in between the two. So yeah, got quite a nice balance going between everything that I'm doing. I haven't watched it yet. I saw VF has started a series on here. Haven't watched it yet because it's labelled realistic roleplay, and me and roleplay generally don't get on. But it seems to be very popular, so I think this map is quite close to where he lives, so I'm kind of intrigued. because it'll probably have quite an interesting commentary in terms of being a local. You know, he knows the roads and stuff, so that could be interesting. Also, so you can see it snowed and snow is falling in the clamp. This is the first time, Kartik, that I've had a close look at the snow mask that you built for snow falling on the bales. You did a good job, mate. You did a good job. I'm impressed. So yeah, just kind of making a bit of a temporary, as I said, Autodrive. Of course, I don't know why I say temporary like that instead of temporary. I guess I'm trying to make it easier because not everyone who watches these videos has English as a first language, so I try to kind of say words properly mostly, and not have too much of my Essex accent creep in. So I know sometimes the speed can get a little fast, and I do try to actually intentionally try to not talk quickly a lot of the time to try and make it easier for people to understand. More so in tutorials and when we get around to streaming. So I thought I'd set up a loop for getting to the bale sell point. No, I'm going to. What you might notice is I've linked to a course going the wrong way, so this doesn't work initially. I've linked to the out loop that I had on here rather than an in loop. So yeah, it took me a while to work out why that didn't work. Like driving all the way back, because I couldn't get Autodrive to send over the tractor. And I just need to back up a little bit to be a bit more in the trigger. It's always worth, with Autodrive, I found, setting waypoints just, you know, right at the far edge of the trigger, because Autodrive will auto-detect them anyway. And means if you've got a different length trailer on, you're still going to get in the trigger. But yeah, we'll loop this broken bit on, but essentially it's all joined up to this thing going the same way. So yeah, Autodrive can't route to it. It can get back from here, and this was stupidly the test that I did to make sure it worked, but yeah, it did not. And this is going to be me testing it, and I'm not sure how much of the testing I show you. By the looks of it, not much, because there's only a couple of minutes left in the video, so by the looks of it, not too much of it you are going to have to endure, which is probably a good thing. Yeah, I'm not sure why I don't know. I don't even remember when I played this, to be honest. It was a few days ago, quite a few days ago. I actually thankfully wrote decent notes, so you can see here I'm up now and I've worked out what's wrong, and I'm just trying to link the bit that we created up to the node that's coming in, and I think I've done that now, and it should work even with such a big gap between nodes. It shouldn't be an issue. So if we now go into Autodrive for this one, I really need to sort out all my waypoints and file them, but there we go. This now should loop round, stop under, you know, assuming that the belt's in the right place and all that kind of thing. It should just keep looping under and tipping. And so I was doing sort of a mixture of running the 7250 manually and nursing Autodrive to keep things flowing. And I did also re-empty the fermenting silo. That had done some more. I did a couple of trailers worth, so basically just trying to get some cash back in the bank. I did repay that 40 grand loan that we took out, so didn't actually end up paying any interest on that because it was so quick. I believe this is maybe the last load, I think, and that is indeed me paying off loan. Didn't realise I'd recorded it. Oh well. Yeah, because we didn't cross over a night or a month, even though we didn't pay any interest or anything. So yeah, That was free, and this is the end. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Any comments, questions or suggestions, stick them below. And I will see you next time. You can see we've got most of the silage out of the bunker, and I'm looking for the finances tab. There we go. 140 grand in sales. Very nice. I will see you next time.